Hi everyone, my name is Jide. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be talking about WTI framework for understanding application of artificial intelligence in solving real life problems. To be able to understand how to apply AI, you need a framework for understanding how you move from identifying the problem, the pain point, to converting it into workflow problem, because every real life problem that can be automated must first be converted, to workflow that AI can handle. And after the conversion to the workflow, then there's the need for identification of the right tools to solve the problem. And once the problem is solved, the impact will have to be measured either for personal or for business purposes. So this is the framework I use to think about the application of AI in my everyday work. This can be applied as individuals and as a business. If you run a business and you're thinking of adopting AI into your workflow, this is a framework to help you simplify the whole process. So you are not just doing things randomly, you have a systematic thinking about it. So you think in steps and not in stress. So AI can't fix chaos as we have in the world. There's so much chaos in the world, right? And one thing you need to know about AI is that AI has a limit. AI can solve all problems. So the beginning of failure is to begin to think that AI can solve all problems. Not every problem is AI solvable. Okay, just as you will have a person having a hammer looking at every situation as a nail problem. The person with the hammer will look at the situation with actually looks at the situation as a nail problem. Okay, but how do you separate? How does a man with a hammer separate a nail problem from every other problem? So that's the thinking behind this framework. How do you separate what it's what's an AI problem from what is not an AI problem? Okay, that's by understanding the problem, converting to a workflow, identifying the right tools, and measuring the business or the personal impact. Okay, so that being said, let's move to the problem. So you start with a confused state. Okay, everybody wants a solution. Okay, everybody wants this job done in a shorter period of time. Everyone has this email to write. Everyone has this sales pitch to make. Everyone has this research to do. Everyone has one challenge, one insight or the other to get from the data. And don't forget, when we talk about data, when we talk about AI, I mean, the next word that comes close or is often associated with artificial intelligence is data. So we're talking about we have this massive data, and inside this data is buried, insight. We are drowning in data today, but we are thirsty of insight. So every problem that's gonna be solved by AI is gonna make use of data, But we have so much data, okay, that is clouding our eyes from seeing, the solution. So your job, as an AI, as becoming AI literate, is ability to identify, the problem that can be solved with AI, and being able to convert those work into workflow. Okay, we'll get into that later. But here we're talking about something that's broken. We're talking about our competitors, getting faster ahead because they found a way to solve the problem faster and cheaper. And here we are, we need to remain competitive. That is a problem. So if we have a friction, the work is slow, decisions are lagging, we need to stop and exercise and find out, could this be automated with AI? Okay, so once we have these issues, we have confusion, we have friction, then we get under pressure, we begin to fall behind, we begin to feel irrelevant, we begin to feel left out, the stakes are high, so we need to find out what is broken, what is changing. Could AI fix it? Could it not? Okay, so if you get to a point in your workflow, in your daily tasks, and you get it overwhelmed, if you get to a point that you begin to make bad decisions because of poor information availability, because one thing is that if you have poor information, you can only make the best decision, as much as the data you find. If you have poor data, if you're working with poor data, your decisions will be poor. But if we have, good data, we have make better decisions. Okay, so one thing is that if we have good data, we must also have the wherewithal, okay, to sort the data, to accumulate it, sort it, and then get the insight from it. So you must find a problem in your daily tasks. In my previous video, I talked about identifying pain points, which is the beginning of becoming aware of the importance of artificial intelligence. Tools alone in itself is the beginning of confusion. Okay, we are drowning in quite a number of tools online right now. If you log onto your YouTube channel, YouTube videos, YouTube account, you find one tool or the other being talked about. But the problem is not more tools. The problem is knowing what the problem is and how to solve it with the AI tools that we have. So if you are new to AI or you're beginning to find it necessary to get a hang of AI, the first step is not to learn tools. The first step is to ask yourself, what problem do I face every day? Okay, that has business impact or that has personal impact. Okay, so that is where it starts from. So it's just like uh getting hungry. If you're hungry, you need food. If you're not hungry, you don't need food. Okay? So hunger requires food. All right. If you if you're going out, probably it's winter. Currently in Canada, it's winter. I need to wear my winter jacket and my winter suit pants and everything that keeps me warm. Okay, so I'm wearing my winter jacket. I'm wearing my suit pant, my winter pant because I need to solve the problem of cold in the winter. But if there's no winter, I wouldn't need to wear a jacket. Okay, so if there's no winter, I really need to wear a jacket. So if there is no data problem, I wouldn't need to have AI. Okay, if I'm not drowning, okay, in overload of information, if I'm not under pressure, if my work is not going too slowly, I wouldn't need AI. So you need to first of all identify what the problem is before you find the solution, such that you don't begin to find tools, you don't begin to find solution for a problem that doesn't exist. You don't want to begin to spend your time jumping from one tools to the other, because that alone is also time wasting. We are living in an age of precision, the right tool for the right problem. But until you know the problem, you don't know the tool. So that's what the problem is about. So the P of the PWTI framework is the problem, the bottleneck, the pain point in our task. So the next one is define the workflow. Now you want to convert the problem, the real life situation, the real business cases into a workflow problem. You want to do a process mapping. If you're in the business analysis industry or you're in the project management industry, you are familiar with process mapping, workflow mapping. You want to use a step that translates the problems into steps AI can work with. Like I said, not every problem is AI problem, it's workflow problem. But there are certain real life tasks that we engage in every day that could be automated, that could be speed up with AI. Those steps are the one we want to identify. Okay, we should not assume AI can do everything. AI can do everything. AI is not it's not all knowing. Okay, it's not the holy grail tool. Everything can be solved by AI. Every business process can be automated with AI. That's why we have human in the loop. Human must always be at the center of AI, okay, to make meaning, to give direction to AI. AI brings speed, humans bring judgment. Together, standing on two legs brings stability. AI alone, okay, would hallucinate, okay, and give false and poor results. And human alone, although has judgment, but is slow speed, has a slow speed. But when you combine the speed of AI and the judgment of human, we have we have high speed, high judgment output, okay, that is superior to either AI alone or to human alone. So now let's look at the workflow. We're looking at the workflow in terms of series of events leading from one to the other. For example, you got to a place, you got to work in the morning and you check your mail. Okay. So what starts the work? Emails. Okay. Probably you get an email. Okay. But you don't have a time, okay, to sort through the series of emails that you got. Probably you have a company email where customers send feedbacks, okay, customers send the product feedback or the email or the survey or something, but you have 1,000 emails waiting for you on a Monday morning. while you don't have all the time, okay, to sort through the emails. Okay, now that is something AI can handle for you. AI could sort that 1,000 emails, okay, in 15 minutes or 20 minutes thereabout. Okay, whereas you could spend 2 hours or 3 hours sorting the same email, okay, with less accuracy. But here we have AI who could sort your emails for you, okay, who could schedule your meetings for you, who could help you track deadlines. Okay, so that could be the trigger. The next step would be the input. What materials do you need? Okay, what is the raw material? For example, the emails. Okay, the emails contain text. Okay, all right. So probably you want your AI agent to draft an email for you. It will need text. Okay, probably you want to schedule a meeting. You will need to have the data of the meetings. Okay, that you need to have. So the next step is the process. What transformation is needed? Does it need does AI need to summarize the data? Does it need to summarize the test? Does it need to give you a summary of the decisions made? Do you need to calculate? Is that the output? Is that the process that needs to be done? Probably you have a sales record be automatically populated to your Excel. Okay, AI could calculate, okay, the high performing product. Okay, AI could calculate the least performing product, the total sales for a particular month, for a particular quarter of a particular year, the best performing sales rep, whatever it is. Or AI could analyze, okay, could do a sentiment analysis of the survey reports that is in your mail. That is a process. So that is the thinking. What part of your daily workflow, daily tasks could AI handle? What part of your workflow is data related? I think we need to be more specific right now. Like I said earlier on, when we talk about AI, we're talking about data. So what part of your daily tasks is data heavy, that AI could help you do the heavy lifting while you focus on judgment, while you focus on architecture, okay, pipeline design. So after the process, we go to the output. What does done look like? Okay, what are the deliverables? Okay, probably every Monday you need to present a report to the board of directors, or probably you need an action item. What needs to be done? Probably you need a summary. All right, probably you need to do an investor briefing. You need to submit a PDF of the performance of the production department. Okay, whatever your output, whatever is done means to you, you should define it. So we start from the trigger. Okay, start from the trigger. What starts the work? A deadline, an email, a meeting, a production request, a customer order. Okay, could start the trigger. All right, then we move. What is needed to get this done? What does AI needs to schedule my these emails? So probably AI will need the name, the phone number, the address, or whatever details of the customer that needs email to be sent to. That's input. So process. What does AI do with the data? Okay, analyze the customer's profile, craft an email, and send it to the customer. That could be what AI process looks like in that scenario. So you need to sit down, understand what does AI need to perform, what operations does AI needs to perform on this input data. Okay. Then the first stage is the output. What does done mean? How will the output look like? All right. So now let's move to the two. The P, don't forget, the P stands with the problem. Okay, the W is the workflow. Now we are the T, which is the tool. Match the tool to the workflow. Pick the tech that fits the job, not the hype. Okay, the less the number of tools, the smarter the system is. Okay, so my rule of thumb is to use the least number of tools possible in your workflow, because the focus is not on the tools, the focus is on the problem being solved. Okay, so the problem is more important than the tools. So you don't want to start amassing tools, get sold on too many tools, where and then getting too little done, because the focus is not the tool, the focus is getting the solution. Tools will come, tools will go. Tools that used to be useful 10 years ago are outdated, are obsolete. Okay, but the problem has remained the same. Okay, we always want to get more done. That would never change. So that is the focus. So you need to pick the tech that fits the job, not the hype, not the noise. In AI industry, in right now, we have so much hype that people get drawn in the hype, in the information overload, in many sales speeches, okay, and fail to miss the insight, what is necessary. That a company A is using a tool does not mean you should use that tool. Okay, that your friend uses a tool does not mean you should use it. You should analyze your own situation and personalize tools, okay, that best fit for your scenario. So what does this tool mean? It means, okay, for a repetition, okay, you could automate, like automation, data entries, and notification. For tests and ideas, what tools do you need to process tests and ideas? LLMs, okay? Large language model process tests. They process ideas like Claude, like uh, ChatGPT, like Gemini. So those are large language LLM they could use as tools to process text and ideas. What about pattern recognition? What tool do you need? Okay, to identify patterns of comment from your customers. Okay, your customers comment on your website is a gold mine of data, but you need to get inside. Okay, using AI as a tool. The tool you could use is machine learning tools to forecast sales or to detect fraud or to analyze customer sentiments and know what they think about your product or services on your website. Okay, so for pattern recognition, you need to pick the tool that best fits pattern recognition. Okay, what about decision support? Okay, AI co-pilots. You need decision support to weigh options, to plan strategy. You need the right tool for that. Okay, I will not spend too much time on the tools. Okay, because it starts with identifying the problem. Okay, you need to identify the problem, identify the workflow. Then the tool becomes very, very obvious. When you do a good job identifying your problem, you do a good job identifying your workflow. Having the right choice of tools is not gonna be difficult. It's gonna be easy. Okay. Don't forget, tools are not the solutions. Okay. They are what helps you get the solution. Okay, so you don't have to spend too much time, get weighed down, get the most sophisticated tool. Get the tool that gets the job done, not the most expensive tool, not the most hype tool, but the tool that gets the job done. Okay, and also introduces the minimal amount of risk, the minimum amount of risk to your workflow. Okay, so now let's go to the impact. That's the final stage of the PWTI framework for thinking about AI adoption. Understand the impact. Who wins? Okay. Who loses? What changes? Okay. What positive personal impact does it make? Okay. What negative personal will it make? That's the draws down of AI tools. What about business or system impact? If you're adopting AI as a business, as a corporate organization, what are the cost power implication? What role does it change? What new bottlenecks could it create? What bottlenecks does it take away? Okay, so you need to do risk assessment, risk impact, business impact, sales impact, revenue impact. Okay, all right. SWOT analysis, do a SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat that your adoption of this AI solution would create. So you get me now? So that is it. It is not rocket science. Adopting AI is easy when you understand the flow that is behind it. You will understand the architecture. Okay. So what does change mean for you? If AI solve this problem, what are you expected to see? What is the outcome? Are you expecting sales to increase by 10%? Are you expecting to reduce labor hours by 20%? Are you looking to become gain more market share? Are you looking to become more competitive in your market if you're using for business purpose? Are you using it to enhance your business operations? Whatever it is, you need to define the impact of your adoption of AI in your workflow. Okay, so this is PWTI framework, okay, for thinking about AI. So I hope with this you get a good foundation to start thinking about AI solutions as applied to life problems in the right way. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. I hope to come to you with more information on AI adoption and how you can increase your productivity from where you are to where you need to be and remain competitive in the AI age. If you have any comment, please do share it in the comment below. And if you really gain value from this video, I need you to help me to improve the algorithm, like it, and subscribe to my channel. My name is Jide. Thank you for watching.